Tell you to buy a copy of your book?
They absolutely could, or they can go on the website for the National Program for Playground Safety.
Okay, okay. What would be your quick list of 3 do's and don'ts for like parents that are going out to build a playground in their own backyard?
Oh, in their own backyard? Well,
Do you know what I'm saying?
I can give suggestions for your own backyard, but again, I kind of really, I'm an inspector for outdoor
Right.
commercial equipment. There are different standards and guidelines, and in fact, the National Program for Playground Safety has a great little pamphlet.
Well, you
So
mentioned one
can,
piece of equipment to me earlier that you said,
Well, one thing I'm concerned with these home playgrounds is that they design them with this big ladder that goes across the top.
I love
So
that ladder,
Of course,
though.
the kids completely climb across the top, and of course, the proper surfacing isn't underneath.
Right.
And there's 3 swings underneath. And one thing we do with public playgrounds is we make sure there's only 2 swings in a bay, because
Okay.
when there's a lot of kids playing, of course,
there's a lot
they
of
go for the
running
middle
and
swing,
stuff like that.
and
Yeah.
and some you get clocked.
Okay. So 2 swings.
2 swings in a bay.
Okay.
And you know, it's very important that these swings aren't, you know, something big and heavy. Now,
So the parents should figure that the cost of the swing set is not just the swing set alone, but also the surfacing material that they're going to put underneath it.
absolutely. I mean, I like pea stone. I have it on my kids' playground because I just think the sand, they end up throwing it, and
Yeah,
you
gets
know,
into
it's-
each other's
it just
eyes
gets in
and
your
stuff
house
like
and
that.
everything.
Yeah.
The pea stone just seems to work better.
Okay.
But
And so what are the do's and don'ts for playing fun? For the kids, what would you teach your children when they go to the playground? What did you, after you took the course and everything, what did you talk to your kids about?
well, and I talk about it in the book too, is wearing the correct shoes when you go to the playground.
Okay.
I see kids with flip-flops and Crocs and things, and I think wearing good sneakers, and you know, that's really important. I even talk about, you know, something simple as bringing good snacks and not bringing juice and soda, because the bees are attracted to that, and you
Okay.
wouldn't believe sometimes you go to the park and there's just bees
Okay.
everywhere. So.
Hey, Joan, can we put up one of the graphics for the parks? So what park is this?
Actually, this is Makosi Beach in Billerica, and that is one of the playgrounds that I maintain. I work 10 hours a week for the town of Billerica as the playground coordinator, and it's a lot of fun because I get to do all the different aspects. We're actually working on a new playground down in Pinehurst right now with Sheriff DePaulo is putting a playground down at the Old Ditson School.
Oh, wow.
And we're also designing a new playground at Lamson Field, which has a small playground that I maintain right now, but we did an RFP for that, and we're putting a bigger playground there because it just gets used so much. But the biggest playground that I hope everybody in Burlington goes to, because I know we come to your wonderful Simons Park, is the Kids Connection Playground. And I was there actually today with a company that did some tree planting and did cleanup, but we're constantly working on that. It's by O'Connor's Hardware,
Oh, wow.
and it's great.
So what's the next one, Joan?
And that's Colerush Park, another one of the 5. It's up in North Billerica off of Trouble Cove Road by St. Andrew's Church.
How does the equipment differ? I noticed a difference in the equipment. That was why when you sent me the pictures, I picked the pictures because
Well, you saw with the other playground, it had the smaller posts, and this has the 5-inch posts, the bigger posts. You know, and that
are
that
they
one has the
padded
smaller-
versus not padded? Do you
No,
suggest
no.
padded posts or?
No, but I like these posts because it's just a much sturdier, longer lasting. I prefer to go with the 5-inch posts, and or at least a 3.5-inch post. And I just think you get more for your money. I like that there's roofs here, and actually this playground has changed. If you go up there, we just changed the panels on this. You see how those the yellow panels, it makes it look like a little house, which is cute. But we had so much graffiti and vandalism inside the middle of this playground that we decided to change 3 of those panels into the bars. And so we still have a little bit of the house look, but you can see now into
Okay.
it because I wasn't involved with the original design of this playground. So it's turned out much better, much less graffiti. So it's been a much better choice.
Can you provide the next slide, Joan?
And this is the cover of the book. And Diane Francis is the illustrator.
Uh-huh.
She works actually at the Carroll School and with the Museum of Fine Arts. She did these big chalk drawings that were beautiful, and I used a computer and sized them down. And Deb Lash from Lashmatic was the designer for the book, and she did a great job designing the book.
Okay. And what plans do you have for the future, and what parks are you going to develop the next Walt Disney World? Or?
Well, you know, I really like to focus in New England, and I do a lot of inspections, working up with the school department in Methuen right now, and working with the Carroll School in Lincoln. They're developing a new site over in Waltham, and I'm just continuing on with working with different parks. But I also work for the state park system. I worked at Walden Pond as a supervisor for 3 years, and now I'm at Harold Parker, which is a great park up in the North Andover area.
What if parents were interested in the development of parks for handicapped or physically challenged children, say they were blind, or maybe they're wheelchair mobile, but yet they have upper arm strength and they're able to move themselves throughout a piece of gym equipment with their upper arm strength, but the equipment's not designed for them. Is there a company that they can look at, or?
Well, there actually is, and I have a master's in rehabilitation, so I do take a lot of that in consideration when I work with a group with a park. But I also there's a company called Boundless Playgrounds. It's a business out of Connecticut, and they do a lot with trying to make playgrounds that are really considering accessibility. And they always do poured in place rubber on all their sites. And so you could go on their site and find out about all the different playgrounds that they've done, and you'd get some great parks to take your kid to. And there's some nearby. I believe there's one, it's either in Acton or Sudbury. I mean, there's some really close by that have been done. So they're definitely worth a trip.
Okay. And say a town is interested in developing a park. Burlington's going through that process right now, I think, with the Wildwood School. And they were able to get matching funds. And they actually did it with citizen involvement.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. How do you think that it would be for, folks in other towns that might want to take on the same sort of challenge, gain funding, which...
Well, funding is interesting. There's a lot of different resources. I think just getting everyone involved in the community, and in Billerica, in some communities they have community funds. We have a grant program. There's getting corporate sponsors. It really takes getting just different groups. Now, when you start a fundraising program, you can do what I call kind of grassroots fundraising, where you do have all the little fundraisers like the car washes and everything. And that's really important, because anybody can get involved in a small little fundraiser like that and feel like they contributed to the park. But then going after some corporate sponsors and some good companies. I know in Billerica, O'Connor's Hardware has been extremely good to us.
That's O'Connor's Hardware?
Yes, they're great.
We shamelessly promote.
Yeah, that's good. He's been unbelievably good to the parks and to the community. So it's just there are companies you'll know in your community, your community, that are really good and that will help you with a project like that.
You had mentioned a program that you had introduced for maintaining the parks, community involvement and maintaining parks, Take 5. What's that about?
Well, we started it. Like I said, I've worked with all different Eagle Scouts, Gold Award projects, and this was a Bronze Award for Girl Scouts. And what I did was, I just thought, if everybody picked up 5 pieces of trash, there'd be more trash for me to deal with these parks. And it just turned into Take 5, and then this Girl Scout troop decided to do it as their project, and they really ran with it for a whole year. They all the youth organizations got involved, and if you go to Billerica, you'll see Take 5 signs all around. And then from there I developed a patch program, which is 5 different activities, and we just had cleanup day, and we did those 5 activities. I ended up having 20 kids come and do cleanup for a couple hours with their parents and do those activities, and they all earned the patch, and it was great. I'm going to do it every year.
Oh, that's fantastic.
great.
So, what do you see for the future of parks? I mean, they've evolved. We were talking since the the macadam pavement under the swings and
Right.
scraped knees and missing other things. And
Mm-hmm.
how do you think that they'll evolve? I mean, they seem more like playgrounds now, but I'm sure the competitors have plans of developing even more so.
I see a lot of the new designs. They're trying to get just make them a little more creative. They've actually taken those posts that I was talking about and made them into arch posts and try to make them into looking different. But I think when you look at the playground, it's really, really important to visit other sites that have this equipment and make sure this equipment is successful. One piece that's brand new that I'm not a fan of is they have this glider, they call it, and it's kind of a slide. The kids climb up a little pole and get to the top, and they actually have directions on the top how to transfer yourself because it's so difficult. Because on a slide, you want to have a good sturdy way with handles to get up.
Right.
That's part of the inspection. That you have a platform for them to transfer themselves from standing up to sitting down. And then when they slide down the slide bed, there should be 4-inch height on the sides of the bed. And these gliders do not have that. And to me, as an inspector, it is a slide. I don't care if you call it a glider, it's still a slide. You climb up it and you slide down. And so that's one new piece that I'm not, there's certain pieces
Right.
that you just find a lot of kids get hurt on them and people don't like them. And so it's really important to get out there. If you think, oh, this looks really cool, you need to get out there and check it out.
So what about parents getting on the equipment with their kids? I mean, I see some
Absolutely.
of it's designed that way and some of it's, sort of
It's harder for parents, yeah.
adult prohibitive.
It's too small for them
Right,
to get
right,
into.
yeah. You see dad stuck there.
Yeah. But no, I think it's very important for the parents not to sit in the car and wait for their kids. They need to get out there and watch their children and supervise them. Absolutely. And every kid, they love it when their parents watch them. And, oh, Mom, watch, look what I can do, And it's really important. It's part of, it's a community thing. It's a family thing. It's a time to spend with your child. It's.
Okay. And
good.
so I guess the last question is, what's your favorite piece of equipment on the playground for yourself?
Well, I really like this netting that they're coming
Cargo
out with,
net.
and it's kind of the big climbers and the big net climbers where the kids can get all the way to the
Is
top.
that the one you use?
And I like it. I think it's great. But then again, the tire swing is a pretty amazing thing, I think, and few playgrounds have that. So.
Want to say hi to your kids?
I do. Hi, Megan. Hi, Pam. Hi, Ryan. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to
My
thank
husband,
everybody. Yep.
Larry.
Say it. Go ahead.
Larry, thank you for all your support, and they've helped me immensely, and and the people at the rec department too. The town of Billerica have been
Yeah.
great.
Well, I'm in the O'Connors.
Oh, of course.
Shamelessly promote. That's the motto. I want to thank everybody for watching again today, and of course, thank the crew and all the other people: Joan, Teresa, my mom, Sean, Tad, Corey, and Jen. Bye. Pat.